DirtTrax is sponsored by Can-Am, the ride says it all. Polaris, the ultimate in off-road vehicles. Hatfield-McCoy Trails, where hundreds of miles of off-road adventure await you today. Yamaha ATVs and side-by-side vehicles, real-world tough. And by Honda. Check out the growing family of Honda ATVs and side-by-sides.
2015 marks another big year for Honda with the reintroduction of the Foreman Rubicon, the same great name you've come to know and rely on in a totally new package. Eric Stevens from Honda is going to tell us more.
So the new Foreman Rubicon, we've developed an all-new frame. This frame is really the core of the vehicle's ride comfort, and we put a lot of engineering into our frame. We use advanced computer-aided engineering, and we really try to balance the strength and compliance of the frame body, and we really consider the frame part of the actual suspension system. It helps absorb the large impacts and also helps the torsional rigidity of the vehicle. For our new independent rear suspension for the Foreman Rubicon, we looked at every component. We chose a specific suspension travel, and then from there we optimized the stiffness and the strength of all the components. The A-arms, the knuckles, they've all been developed to work together to achieve the best ride comfort for the new vehicle.
Many new features and benefits can be found on this new vehicle. Some seem small, but it's the sum of all of these small changes that truly makes this a better ATV.
So for our new independent rear suspension, we placed the shock bottom point on the lower A-arm, and what that allows is for the rear shock to be more vertical, and that allows the shock to travel more in line with the rear wheel, and that allows us to optimize the actual performance of the rear shocks. For our new electronic power steering, we've chosen 3 mount points. Our previous generation had 2 mount points. And with the 3 mount points, we're able to better balance the rigidity of the frame with the power steering unit itself, helps absorb some of the kickback and feedback from the trail. New to our Foreman Rubicon is a much easier, much more intuitive reverse system. Instead of our old system with a push button, we now have a lever. You simply pull the lever with one finger along with the rear brake lever and shift in reverse. This system also doubles as our parking brake. To set the parking brake, you simply pull the brake lever and then swing the red lever forward to set the brake.
As with most of Honda's ATVs, there's multiple transmissions available to keep both work and play users happy.
So we have an all-new DCT dual clutch transmission. It's a 5-speed transmission with a high and low range, so it essentially gives you 10 gears to choose from. You can run in automatic mode and it'll shift for you, or you can choose our electric shift program and choose any gear you want when you're riding on the trail. And we also offer a 5-speed manual transmission, which you can simply shift with a foot shifter. The benefit of our manual transmission, it's a simpler system. Some of our customers prefer that, and you can shift into any gear you want to and hold that gear at any time you want. For automatic transmission, if you're out cruising on the trail, you can choose the automatic mode and kind of cruise through the trail. Or you can, for more sporty riding, you can choose our electric shift program, which allows you to shift to any gear you want while you're riding.
There's one particular feature that we're not used to seeing on a Foreman, but we believe that the greater majority of its users are really going to appreciate it. And I know all the crew here at DirtTrax certainly will.
Our new Foreman Rubicon has a diff lock system. What this allows is for our customers to get full-time 4-wheel drive. Very easy to use. There's a lever on the right-hand handlebar that you rotate to engage diff lock. With diff lock, you get full-time 4-wheel drive, so if you get into severe terrain, you can use that to get out. We also have a speed override system. You can push and hold the start button and get up to 40 miles per hour speed to get out of very severe conditions out on the trail.
While there's many new features to the Foreman Rubicon, the one that I think is going to be most well received by the general public is its stylish good looks. This vehicle truly looks the part of a sport utility ATV. But for you to make that determination, you're going to have to stop by your local Honda dealer and check out the all-new Foreman Rubicon in person.
We expected a Maverick with more power. But Can-Am's all-new 121 horsepower turbocharged intercooled Maverick XDS caught us completely off guard. The Maverick XDS is so much more than just big horsepower and a crazy green and black paint scheme. This vehicle sees a lot of new improvements aimed at making it better in every way. Maybe the most important new feature of this chassis is the completely redesigned TTA rear suspension. It boasts 2 inches more travel to a total of 16 inches and is damped by a set of Fox Podium RC2 shocks. We're super excited to get our hands on this Maverick early and have a look at it in stock form, because during the course of the What Would You Do to a Maverick contest, this vehicle is going to be transformed into something the world has never seen before.
DirtTrax is sponsored by Brimstone, where the journey is your reward.
Arctic Cat started a steady expansion of their side-by-side product line with the introduction of the Wildcat a few seasons ago. It was followed closely by the X model and most recently the Trail. For 2015, they've addressed one of the most popular pure sport side-by-side classes with an all-new Wildcat, but that's just the tip of Arctic Cat's new product iceberg this season.
Well, the big news at Arctic Cat this year on the wheeled side of the product is there's a big three. All new Prowler this year, all new Wildcat Sport in the 60-inch wide category, and then an all brand new ground up ATV in an XR chassis. The Wildcat Sport that's new this year is really neat. We took the Trail platform, we kicked it out an extra 10 inches, so now the 50-inch wide is 60 inches wide. That's the big thing. New A-arms, new suspension that go with it. Follows the same packages as the big Wildcat. You have a base model, you have a limited model, you have an XT model, so customers can package and accessorize the vehicle just like the big Wildcat. The Wildcat Sport was developed at the same time we developed the Wildcat Trail. That was on the sketch pad. If you actually look, the frames are identical between the two machines. While on the Wildcat Sport Limited, you get full aluminum doors, you get the Elka Stage 5 shocks. I mean, those are values that people are looking for in that kind of vehicle.
For 2015, the Prowler gets an ergonomic and visual overhaul aimed at overall rider comfort and convenience and visual appeal. The new Prowler is as comfortable to sit in as it is sexy to look at. But the truth is, the biggest news for 2015 is the all-new XR lineup of ATVs.
Well, I'd love to talk for hours about our new XR ATV. It's been a long time coming at Arctic Cat. It's time for a new ATV, so it's a new frame, new chassis, new suspension, new ergonomics, new storage. You know, those are the things, and a great new look, and then a new speed rack system as well. Well, obviously, look at the new XR package. It is a beautiful looking machine, and the attention to detail is really great. And the new headlights are really a neat deal. Very automotive-ish, moving to the next generation of light. We had LED lighting on the Wildcat, you know, we led in with that. Now we're carrying that same technology over to the ATV as well. We still follow our ride-in suspension heritage, the big wheel travel, that was all still kept, but obviously with a new frame, new ergonomics, new seating position, your suspension will slightly change. We also focused on that recreational rider of the ATV, trying to give them even a more plush feel ride over the rocks, you know, so when you're cruising down the trail, you've got that softer, supple feel.
The changes to Arctic Cat's 2015 ATV lineup are extensive and impressive, and give just a brief glimpse behind the curtain of a company with fresh drive to rise up in the off-road industry.
Well, 2015 is really exciting for Arctic Cat as well. I think you just take a look at our brochure and look at all the new models, new product that we're offering. Again, since we've introduced the Wildcat a few years ago, we said our foot was on the gas pedal with new product and new innovation, and we've proven that again, I think, for the third year in a row that we aren't letting off the gas, and there's a lot more to come.
DirtTrax is sponsored by Super ATV, the industry leader in aftermarket parts and accessories for the off-road market.
Trying to keep up with Polaris's seemingly endless forward momentum in the ATV and side-by-side industries is becoming a full-time job. They're introducing new and improved products and innovating new segments at a rate no one's ever seen before. 2015 sees yet another overhaul of their already unequaled lineup.
Well, for 2015, we've got lots of new models, but four in particular that I think we can spend some time talking about would be the Ace 570, the Sportsman 1000, the new Ranger 2-passenger lineup, and last but not least, the new Razor 900 models and 50-inch and S versions.
If there was one thing we all agreed the original Ace would benefit from most, it was more power. For 2015, that's exactly what it gets.
Well, the Ace is a new and very unique vehicle, and we started out with the ProStar 32 engine. And a lot of the feedback we got was that customers want more power, more performance, and we're actually asking for the 570 version, and we were anticipating this as well. So basically 6-7 months after the initial launch, we were ready to go with the 570 version, and the initial response to that vehicle has been very, very positive. Yeah, and as far as engine fit in the chassis, one of the things that we talked about when we first launched the Ace is the fact that the rear section of the machine is very, very common with the Razor 570. And given that the chassis components in the rear are very similar, it's a natural fit for the 570 engine into the Ace chassis.
Last season, the Scrambler 1000 was a huge success and gave its only other 1000cc Sport 4x4 competitor a serious run for its money. So it only made sense to attack the last 1000cc muscle bike class with a Sportsman 1K variant.
When people are looking at spending on a premium ATV, they're looking to go all in. And so for us, being able to move to that 1000 level was a key thing for us. And we started first with the Scrambler, with the more performance vehicle. And then again, it was a natural, as there's a lot of shared components between those vehicles, to be able to transition the 1000 into the Sportsman chassis and make a very, very performance-oriented rec utility vehicle as well. The idea of a Sportsman 1000, the first thought people will have is like, well, that's going to be a handful, that's going to be hard to manage. And with that kind of horsepower level. So we spend a lot of time working on tuning our vehicle so that the power comes on at a very controlled and manageable rate, and that it gives you the confidence that you need to be able to use that power and not feel like the vehicle is overpowering you. There are some small changes in suspension and suspension tuning, obviously, for sport versus rec. And then the other noticeable change that you'll see on these vehicles is for the Sportsman version, we did go with a single exhaust system, and it also resulted in just a little bit of difference in horsepower. The Scrambler's in at 89, and the Sportsman's in at 88.
The midsize Ranger has gained huge popularity because it seamlessly blends great capability with great value. Last season, there were a few things about the midsize Ranger we thought Polaris could easily improve on. It would seem this season, they agreed with us, but took things a few steps further.
For 2014, basically we put the 570 engine in and set up the back end of the machine. And then we came around in 2015 and then basically built the rest of the machine up new around it to incorporate a lot of the features of the Ranger XP 900, which was introduced for 13. And so some of the key things that you'll see there, in addition to things like more suspension travel and a little bit better ride, but the profile cab tubing and the ProFit cab components, the ability to put windshield, roof, and back panel on in just a matter of a few minutes. We've been able to bring that technology into this vehicle. We've got aggressive new styling. We did a lot of addressing comfort on the inside of the vehicle with tilt steering now that we have, and centering up the instrumentation behind the steering wheel, and more storage on the interior, bringing it up to the same kind of level that we had with the groundbreaking XP 900.
The biggest news from Polaris for this season is definitely the introduction of their all-new Polaris 900 lineup with the base and S models. It replaces all versions of the 800 Razor and the 900 XP.
What we were trying to accomplish there was to bring that vehicle up to the same level of refinement that we have in the Razor XP 1000, which has been a new benchmark in side-by-side performance vehicles. If you think about what we did and you look at what we have in the XP 1000 and what we built into the 50-inch and the 60-inch or S versions of the Razor 900, the chassis is largely common from the B pillar forward. And as you know, Razor customers love their accessories. We have 275 new accessories available for these vehicles, and again, 60% of them are common across all models because of the family design, if you will. We were able to achieve more suspension travel, and we've got a 2-inch longer wheelbase, so the ride and handling is much improved on these vehicles. And simply put, though, a lot of it is just bringing the goodness of the XP 1000 down into the trail models. The decision behind the engine was largely as we thought about what would be the right performance level for the trail vehicles. It's not the same engine that we've been putting in the XPs. And then if you also think just about the evolution of time since the XP 900 was first introduced, that was our Gen 1 version of the engine, and we are now on Gen 2. And there's actually more commonality in this motor with the Ranger 900 than with a Razor XP 900 or a Razor XP 1000 motor. The most important thing to know about our 2015 lineup is just how broad our overall lineup is from tip to tail. We've got vehicles that fit just about every off-road vehicle customer usage type, and a lot of it now is largely new with the fact that we just introduced 29 new models, which is a new high watermark for us as well. It's very important for us to be very forthcoming about making sure that we've got the entire landscape of use out there covered with the model lineup that we have.
DirtTrax is sponsored by Triton Trailers. Know it, own it, haul it, and by Seismic UTV accessories. Get more done, have more fun.
Its impressive 60-inch stance gives it a low-slung appearance that's only accented by its loud orange bodywork. From the side, clean, aggressive lines continue from the nose straight through the included half doors to the box. From the front, the sharp, angular headlights and grille blend perfectly into the hood and seem as though they're looking at you, begging you to challenge them. There's no question the Ranger 900 Deluxe is a fantastic-looking vehicle. It's imposing from every angle. But it's like your mom told you, looks aren't everything. And after we got over how sexy it is, we got to wondering, can the Ranger 900 live up to its styling job? This is a big vehicle, impossible to confuse for something that fits into the trail size class. At 60 inches wide, it's among the widest sport utes on the market. Some might suggest its larger size is a negative, and we strongly disagree. No, it doesn't fit into small spaces, but Polaris makes other vehicles for that. The XP900 is all about maximum capability and versatility, and its extra size allows for that huge cargo box on the back that's capable of hauling up to 1,000 pounds. 1,000 pounds is a lot of anything, and we figure if you have the need to haul this much stuff, you'll probably appreciate the Ranger's extra size. We also think you'll appreciate not just its impressive horsepower, but how smoothly it delivers that power as well. Its 875cc parallel twin produces 60 horsepower, but Polaris has tuned this engine and clutch package to be smoother than Brad Pitt at a Tupperware party. Continuing on the topic of smoothness, I'm about to make a bold statement. There is no other sport utility side-by-side that rides as plush as the Ranger 900 XP. None, period. 10 inches of travel front and rear is set up extremely soft, yet maintains excellent anti-bottoming characteristics when bigger hits sneak up on you. 12 inches of ground clearance means even with its soft suspension, you can load it up and not worry about it sagging too close to the ground. The Deluxe Edition comes with a whole bunch of features that set it apart from the base models, the most noticeable of which is this crazy nuclear sunset orange paint job. Man, that's a scary sounding color, isn't it? Included half doors, color-matched bucket seats, center console, Bluetooth audio system including dash-mounted speakers, and 12-inch black aluminum rims with 26-inch PXT tires are all part of the Deluxe package. But what's extremely conspicuous by its absence is a winch. In my opinion, a winch is a mandatory feature for any premium sport utility side-by-side, and not having one on the Deluxe Ranger is a pretty big letdown. The interior of the XP900 Deluxe is pretty sweet. There's tons of storage in the dash and in the center console, so you'll have lots of places to put your stuff when the box is full. The in-dash radio means you can enjoy your music and share it with everybody else, whether they want to hear it or not. And the front bucket seats are very comfortable, though there's only 2 of them, versus the 3-person bench found in the base model. A tilt wheel and adjustable driver's seat make it easy for drivers of all sizes to find a comfortable fit. But what's most impressive with this version of the Ranger XP is the new ProFit roll bar and cab component integration system. Until now, adding things like windshields, roofs, and door kits left your side-by-side looking like you'd driven a magnet through an accessory store. All these pieces looked like they'd been bolted on to a stock vehicle. Polaris has designed the roll bar of the Ranger with adding accessories in mind. Windshields are flush fit and install in seconds. Roofs simply clip on. Doors mount and function much like they would on your car. With this type of accessory integration, the Ranger can be tailored to suit your needs perfectly. What might those needs be? Well, at this point it's pretty obvious the Ranger XP is extremely capable and has all the features required to get just about any job done. Maybe it's the unlocking rear diff for when you're driving around your yard or a customer's job site. Maybe it's the one-hand tailgate and tilting dump box for fast and efficient loading and unloading of all 1,000 pounds of cargo. Maybe its stellar power steering is making it easier to precisely navigate difficult terrain. Or maybe its excellent ride and handling are making a day of blowing off steam out on the trail that much more enjoyable. Because yes, the 900 is a fantastic recreational ride as well. The bottom line here is simple. The Ranger 900 XP Deluxe is one of, if not the most versatile side-by-side we've ever tested for two basic reasons. It works harder than almost anything else out there, and it's more than smooth and fast enough to be a great trail machine.
DirtTrax Television has been sponsored by Polaris, the ultimate in off-road vehicles. Can-Am, the ride says it all. MBRP Performance Exhaust, making power with MBRP. Arctic Cat, share our passion. And by Honda. Check out the growing family of Honda ATVs and side-by-sides.
If you enjoyed this video, post a comment and let us know what you think. Then, click this link to subscribe and that link for more great videos from DirtTrax TV.